I'm getting really excited for spring, and with spring comes the planting of the garden, but also getting the garden bed ready. Well, this year this garden bed is almost ready. Stay tuned and I'll explain. Hey, welcome back to Pine Meadows Hobby Farm. I'm your host, Jerry Hansen. We've got spring on its way. I'm getting the spring fever. I want to get out and plant, but in the meantime, I've been starting a lot of plants inside the greenhouse. Today, I started a bunch of cucumbers in pots, started watermelon pots, started flowers. So we're hoping to get them mature enough and out in the garden after the last frost, absolutely. But the garden is what I wanted to talk about in preparing the garden for spring planting. Now, if you guys notice, there's not much left to do in the garden this year as far as weeds go, because I took the last couple of years and worked really hard at putting in features in my garden to mitigate weeds. And it worked. Look at this. There's hardly a weed in the garden, and it comes from laying this black tarp down and laying pine chips over the top, pine shavings over the top of it. The black tarp, to me, serves two purposes. It keeps weeds from growing, and it retains moisture in the ground so the plants can get into it. Now, if you see where these little pipes are, I'm going to pull those pipes out this year, pipe sleeves, and we're going to just dig all the soil out and just backfill it with good, nutritious, organic mulch, soil, and worm castings. And I'm going to plant my squash out here, I'll plant my melons here, and I'll plant my squash over here on the other side where we tried to plant corn last year. But the garden's ready. I don't hardly have any weeds to pull in the whole garden. That makes me really happy because I hate weeds. I did do raised beds, and to my advantage, there hardly any weeds came up in the raised beds, and they're really easy to control anyway. And I filled them up with a good, nutritious soil that I purchased. And now this year, I don't have to purchase any soil. I just have to implement it with, which I've been doing all winter, fall, and into the spring, is cleaning out the chicken coop and the rabbit tree and putting all their organic material in here and also in the worm bin. And as I plant, I'll also be planting worms with the plants and worm castings and fertilizing them with worm tea as the year progresses. I have this other fertilizers to implement also. And I plan on putting outdoor speakers out here and piping in music for the plants, because I really want a really good crop this year. I want to see how well it goes, because some years I did well, other years I did not. Some crops I did okay with one year, but crappy with the next year, and vice versa. So it's a crapshoot. You never know what's going to happen. So as you can see from these raised beds, all I have to do is just turn the soil, work the soil a little bit with a hoe and rake, and I'm ready to plant. There's hardly a weed in here that needs to be gathered, but we're going to go ahead and take all the weeds and we're going to put them over here in my compost pile. And I'm going to be doing some more development of the compost pile this year as well, because I got a big pile up next to the barn, and I'm going to add a second compost bin down here in the garden so we can get it composting good and proper, and add the microorganisms and worms into it to help break it down and get it ready for the garden for later, because I plan on planting my garden in cycles throughout the year, because some crops you can actually grow early spring, harvest summer, plant again, harvest late fall. And that's what I'm going to try to do, which means a lot of work with canning the produce, a lot. But then again, there's the excess produce that I can actually sell at perhaps a roadside stand, which I'm thinking seriously about, because in the greenhouse, I'm growing way more than I need. And so I'm thinning out all the seedlings into their individual pots, and I'll be selling those. I got an order from people at work already. They already put in their orders for what they want. So I already have some plants sold. So I'm ahead of the game here. Yes, the garden, the greenhouse, springtime. I'm loving it. I love gardening. I love getting my hands dirty. I love just being outdoors. I'm your host, Jerry Hansen, sharing with you guys, the wonderful weedless garden. Almost weedless, just a few. But my method worked. I'm very excited about it actually working. Now if we can get things growing. We'll see. Stay tuned to more videos. You can do that by subscribing and clicking that bell icon. That alerts you to new videos as I upload them. Please give us a thumbs up. Click that share button. Sharing my videos on your social media platforms helps us out a lot. Also leave a comment. Always remember, be safe, and please, please be kind. We're getting busy. Yes. We'll see you guys. Bye-bye.